Survival has become a round-the-clock mission for June Mills.
I should not be struggling to feed myself and house myself. Well, I'm a Larrakia, this is Larrakia land, and I can't even find a metre space to park and be safe in.
For 2 years, the Larrakia elder has slept rough on Darwin streets. Living out of her van with her dog Cooper, life has never been so hard.
I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel at all. I just feel like, well, the next thing is death. And maybe I'd be wise to just prepare myself for that.
Day after day, the 66-year-old scours the city streets looking for a safe place to park and sleep.
I'm really tired, and I'm sort of trying to think now, should I be actually, it's a bit foolish of me trying to sleep at night. Maybe I should be sleeping in the day and staying awake at night. This is how I'm thinking now.
June Mills is one of the original stars of the stage in the Northern Territory, performing with the Mills sisters. She paved the way for Aboriginal artists and spent her life advocating for her people.
Oh, she's a multiracial beauty.
But her life hit rock bottom after she was evicted from public housing. Facing a long wait list to get another property, and with the rental market out of reach, June feels stuck.
I can't solve this. I can't solve it. I don't know. Put up with it here in the NT.
June Mills has spoken out about the dire state of homelessness in the Northern Territory for years and hasn't been afraid to hold the government to account.
We need more housing.
But there are more housing options in that package as well.
Well, it's not enough. It's never enough.
And up here, look, a couple more up here.
Yeah.
After years of living rough, June's voice has grown even louder, and she's calling out what she's seeing on the street.
It's a horror story. People are hungry, people are cold, they're getting wet, there's nowhere to get a dry bed.
Data from the last census shows just over 13,000 people in the Territory are homeless. That's more than 1 in every 20 Territorians, the highest rate of any jurisdiction in the country, and almost 12 times the national average. Overcrowded housing still remains the biggest driver. 87% of the Territory's homeless population is Aboriginal. Just over half are women, again the highest rate in the nation.
It's been a problem for many years now. We just haven't seen the level of investment that's needed in housing, whether it be in Darwin or whether it be out in the remote or very remote regions of the Territory.
Peter Angel and Shanae Davey see the impact of homelessness every night. Between them, they've worked the city streets for more than a decade with Larrakia Nation's Night Patrol program.
Put your seatbelts on.
Helping people at risk and taking them somewhere safe is their nightly brief.
Can't save everybody's lives, but we're saving some just for that one night, and it makes you feel a lot better. You're getting people to safe locations at the end of the night.
Each night, the service helps around 150 people sleeping rough in the Darwin region alone. Demand has never been so high.
We're experiencing a lot of antisocial behaviour, and that's leading to criminal behaviour, and it's directly putting a lot of our staff at risk and in danger of some of these people who are just being desperate now.
Now we're going to head out to Palmerston. Now it's getting a bit later. There might be some people wanting to go to the sobering up shelter.
Within 2 hours, Peter and Shanae make 3 trips to Darwin's only sobering up shelter, or Spin Dry as it's known on the street. It has 40 beds, but by 9 o'clock at night, it's almost full.
It's very difficult when we don't have any beds left at the sobering up shelter. You know, we've got limited resources on where to take the clients afterward. So the options is hospital, the police watch house, or to family's house if they're welcome there.
There's been an explosion of new faces sleeping rough on Darwin streets. People fleeing violence in Wadeye, recent flood evacuees, and people from Aranda country in Alice Springs have made their way up to the city. But finding a bed for people and keeping them safe each night has never been harder.
I would go so far as to say that we have a refugee crisis here in Australia within our people.
Because we're so busy, you know, and some of these countrymen have to wait like 3 hours.
Larrakia Nation says the majority of clients it helps each night aren't from Darwin. It's stretching resources on the ground and leading to tension on the street.
What's your name?
Obviously there's weapons being confiscated, there's many fights happening out in through the night. So there's those challenges that our staff are faced with on a daily and nightly basis.
No, I can't understand why life goes on the way it does.
On the street, moves by the local council to fine rough sleepers has hit a nerve. Mary Malbinga from East Arnhem Land was woken by council rangers in the morning and fined $162 for sleeping in a public place.
Every day they run around here. To East Point, to Fanny Bay, everywhere.
The 48-year-old is on a disability pension and has been on the wait list for public housing in Darwin for 2 years. As a single woman, she faces an 8 to 10-year wait list to get a unit in the city. She doesn't want to go back to her community and has nowhere else to go.
I'm trying to get one flat. I've been doing that for many years to get a flat here in Darwin. I'm still waiting.
Despite having the greatest need, the Northern Territory receives the least amount of direct funding for homelessness from the Commonwealth because of its small population.
The Territory has been receiving a very dud deal under Commonwealth funding for homelessness. It's really an insult to the thousands of Territorians that each year have no services available to them.
We're never going to get ahead in the Northern Territory if we continue to be population-based funded. Our territory context is unique.
Data from the 2021 census shows moves by the federal government to build more housing out bush is helping to bring down homelessness, with a 4.5% reduction since 2016. Organisations at the coalface say it's a welcome start, but there's still more work to do.
It's estimated that approximately 1 in 2 households has severe crowding, and that's despite significant investment over the last 5 years to tackle overcrowding. So there's still a lot of housing need in remote communities. And closer to the urban centres, we're seeing public housing waitlists grow 25% in the last 2 years alone.
It's not just people living on the street finding it tough. An invisible form of homelessness is hitting young people especially hard. This 16-year-old, who we'll call Josie, is one of the lucky ones to get a bed at Darwin's only youth refuge.
I'm telling myself that it'll get better, it isn't always going to be this hard.
The Northern Territory has the highest youth homeless rate in the nation. This shelter has 8 beds, nowhere near the need.
Over the last 3 years, there's been a doubling of the young people that we cannot help.
Outside of this safe cocoon, Josie's worried how her future will play out.
I worry about finding somewhere affordable to stay or just finding a place in general.
The same worry is hitting seniors hard as well. June fears her talent and contribution to the Territory will go wasted on the street.
As a Larrakia elder, I should be in a place where I can continue to be a service to the community, to my grandchildren. I'm fed out at just feeding myself and organising myself. You know, I just think it's such a terrible waste of me as a elder and a resource and a community person.
An urgent plea from a Territory treasure desperate for a place to call home.